Welcome in, everybody, to Fourth and a Mile, presented by Planet Adam. I am your host, the Pharaoh of Planet Adam, or God King, if you will. I am Adam Fernandez. Got a lot to talk about today. First off, guys, don't forget, I tell you guys this all the time. Make sure you guys go over to Bandcamp.com. Check out my friends Jocelyn and Matt and their band, A Bloody Chasm. They got 4, 5, 6, I don't even remember how many great songs on there. I have them all downloaded. I'll play them all for you guys sometime if I have to. Go ahead and download those songs. There's some great rock and roll in all that. Today we're doing a live stream. Haven't done one of these in a long time. Well, a successful one. Hopefully this one will be successful and go through the entire show without messing up. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we're praying for. I got my Dr. Pepper in hand. We should be good to go. Hopefully everything turns out as well as I am planning on doing the live stream. Just because, you know what, I've always had fun doing the live stream. So that's why we're doing it today. We might continue to do it again. What we're going to do now is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those are going to be the 3 days that the show's going to be on. So if this goes successful, then I might start live streaming 2 times a week. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'll still get put onto YouTube. But as of right now, I'm just doing this one just because I enjoy doing the live stream and I enjoy having interaction with some people who might be watching. Let's see if there is anybody watching yet. There may or may not be. Oh yeah, it looks like Crystal Zimmerly is joined. What's happening, Crystal? So that is the plan. Excuse me. As of now, as you guys can see, the cough hasn't gone completely away yet, but it's getting there. It's a lot better than what it was. I don't know if you guys remember, what was it, like Tuesday of last week? I could barely even speak, or was it Thursday? Something like that. No, it was Tuesday. I couldn't even speak at all, but I was still trying to put on a show for you guys. So yeah, we are doing the live stream. Possibly just today. Maybe I might decide to go ahead and move it on and do other live streams as well. But let's get into everything we wanted to talk about today. There's a bunch of red meat here for you guys. First off, this past weekend for me was filled with watching a little baseball, but mainly wrestling all weekend long. Started Friday night. I told you guys I was going to be watching the Hall of Fame ceremony. I watched the Hall of Fame ceremony. That was pretty entertaining. I think the best speech of the night was Mark Henry. I think the most entertaining speech of the night, personally to me, was Ivory. Goldberg was okay. The Dudleys were pretty funny themselves. Jeff Jarrett was, you know. Then it went into Saturday, and I watched Supercard of Honor at 7:30. I watched the Young Bucks screw over Kenny Omega. They gave him a super kick party, apparently unintentionally, but they still kicked him and not Cody. Cody wound up pinning Kenny Omega, and so Cody won the match. May or may not be the de facto leader of Bullet Club. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. After that, it was NXT, and I didn't watch this one live because it was on at the same time as Supercard of Honor. I ended up watching NXT TakeOver New Orleans. That was a great show as well. A lot of great matches. Adam Cole won the ladder match to win the North American title. He's the first ever North American champion now. Then a couple matches later, he and Kyle O'Reilly teamed up together. They're both members of Undisputed Era. They teamed up to take on Authors of Pain. I was thinking of the Acolyte Protection Agency, the APA. Anyways, they took on Authors of Pain and Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong stabbed Pete Dunne in the back at the very end. And Kyle O'Reilly ended up getting the pin, so Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly are still the tag team champions as well. Let's see, what was the other? There's a couple other big ones. Ciampa and Gargano, that was a great match. that lasted it seemed almost an hour. I don't exactly know how long it lasted, but that was a great match. Brutal match. Gargano won after beating Ciampa down with the what are they called? With the crutch, and then he ended up basically putting Ciampa in a finishing move where he used Ciampa's own knee brace to wrap his chin up and basically put him into a Boston Crab type maneuver there, or a chin lock type maneuver there, and so he ended up winning. And then, well, this was actually before that, but Aleister Black, or as I like to call him, Tommy End, ended up winning the NXT Championship. He is now the NXT Champion. He is Tommy End. He's not Aleister Black. So shut up, NXT. So then that took us over to yesterday where I watched WrestleMania. I watched it over at my buddy Sean's place. WrestleMania was phenomenal. There were some matches in there that were kind of like, but the majority of the matches were really good. I don't like the fact that Asuka lost, or it's not that Asuka lost. She was going to have to lose eventually anyways. I don't like the fact that she tapped out. I thought that was a bad way to end her streak. If they're going to have her lose to Charlotte, have Charlotte in her. That's just my take on that. Because, you've built her up for years to be this indestructible force that just, dishes out pain on everybody. Why is she going to be her first loss in WWE is going to be a submission? Come on. So I did not like that at all. Let's see. And then, AJ Styles beat Shinsuke. I was surprised by that. I thought Shinsuke was going to end up winning. I was rooting for AJ. I'm a lifelong AJ Styles fan. AJ wins. And then Shinsuke decides to go ahead and give him a low blow and turn heel, which I'm kind of interested in seeing a heel Shinsuke Nakamura, to be honest with you. At the same time, though, you're a bitch. Don't do that to AJ Styles. Speaking of bitches, Bayley ended up showing her true colors. She's a treacherous bitch who turned her back on her friend Sasha Banks, but she still ended up losing that Royal Rumble. Oh, hey, Jocelyn just shared it. I'm hoping you're talking about this. I'm hoping you shared this one, Jocelyn, but we'll see. Anyways, so, yeah, so, Bayley, yeah, you're a bitch. Team Sasha all the way. However, Bayley still ended up losing that battle royal, rather, to Naomi. Then, let's see, what else happened? Of course, Nia beat, I saw something on my phone and it turned out it was just my hand. I'm a little bit behind. Anyways, Nia Jax ended up beating my future ex-wife, the 5 Feet of Fury, to win the Raw Women's title. Alexa Bliss, by the way. And then, let's see, what else was there? Brock Lesnar beat Roman Reigns. I think that kind of surprised everyone. We all thought that Lesnar would drop the title to Reigns. Not that we were wanting him to, but we all expected that to happen. It didn't. Lesnar just beat the shit out of Roman Reigns. Speaking of guys beating the shit out of someone else, Undertaker beat the shit out of John Cena. That was a total squash match. Lasted all about maybe 5 minutes. Cena got his ass whooped bad by the Undertaker. So, all in all, the weekend in wrestling was very entertaining. I loved it. I had a ball throughout the entire weekend. As the biggest weekend of the year for me as a wrestling fan. But there was still other sports going on, guys. Other sports to talk about. Let's go ahead and start off with, speaking of guys almost getting their asses kicked. Yesterday in the Cardinals game, second inning of the game, the home plate umpire, Tim Timmons, had been calling low strikes, well, up to this point all game. Granted, like I said, it was only in the second inning, against some of the Diamondback players. A.J. Pollock, David Peralta, just to name a couple. The Cardinals weren't getting those strikes called against them because there wasn't a lot of those strikes thrown to them. And plus, the Cardinals had only had one at bat at this point. So A.J. Pollock gets his third strike thrown on him. He thought it was ball 4. Gets a little testy with Tim Timmons. Starts going back over to the dugout. Then the Diamondbacks manager, Torrey comes out. Starts yelling at Timmons. And the way you're seeing it is you're seeing him yelling at Timmons, and you see him point to Yadier Molina. Those of you who aren't all in the know of baseball, let me tell you, Yadier Molina, as much as I love the guy, has a history of being a hothead. He can get to be a little testy, I guess, sometimes. Such as the Brandon Phillips incident back in, what was that? Was that 2012, 2013, something like that? I think it was 2013. It doesn't matter. But yes, so he has a history of being a little testy, being a hothead. There's no doubt of that. As a Cardinal fan, I'll be the first to admit to you guys that he's got a history of being a hothead. So, while Timmons is yelling, or rather, Lovullo is yelling at Timmons, Lovullo's also pointing at Yadier. And then you see Yadier take exception to whatever it is that Lovullo's saying, start charging towards Lovullo. Timmons gets in between them. Yadier throws his mask off because he's, in his catcher's garb. Throws his mask off and starts getting closer and closer to Lovullo. Timmons is doing his very best to hold Yadier back because Yadier is, again, very hot-tempered. He's a tough son of a bitch. So Timmons was really struggling to hold Yadier back. And I wish I could figure out how to put video on this. As soon as I do, I'll start showing you these kind of things. Yeah, and so the benches ended up clearing. They end up separating them. Lovullo had already been tossed out of the game. As soon as he started headed towards home plate to argue balls and strikes, if you argue balls and strikes, that's an automatic toss. Automatic toss. And so he got tossed out automatically. My hair doesn't look bad today. It looks kind of goofy, though. Not too shabby, though. Anyways, so yes, that's an automatic. You're tossed out of the game for arguing balls and strikes. The argument that I've seen made by a lot of people online is that Yadier should have been tossed out of the game for making contact with the umpire. Here's the issue with that. Go back and watch that video. Yadier is not the one that initiated the contact with Tim Timmons. Tim Timmons is the one that initiated the contact, and the contact was to hold Yadier back from whooping Torrey Lovullo's ass. After the game, Yadier, in an interview, told the media what had happened, according to him, and that's that Lovullo was accusing Yadier of framing pitches, which, by the way, if he was framing pitches, good job, Yadier. That's what you're supposed to do as a catcher. If you're a manager that's telling your catcher not to frame pitches, then you have no business being a manager of a baseball team at any level, not even at Little League. So framing pitches is a good thing for your team. Yes, it's it disrupts the opinion of the home plate umpires to whether it's a ball or a strike, but that's kind of the aim of it. So is it a little underhanded? Yes, but it's perfectly within the rules, and it's something catchers have been doing for as long as baseball's been played. So he's accusing Yadier of framing the pitches, and according to Yadier, he called him a motherfucker twice. And Yadier says, if you're going to talk like that to a man, you better be prepared to fight. That's what Yadier's whole take on it was. that Lovello was calling him a motherfucker, and if you're going to call him a motherfucker, then you better be ready to duke it out, because nobody calls him a motherfucker. So Yadier was allowed to stay in the game. A lot of people, especially people that aren't Cardinals fans, because let's be honest, if you're not a Cardinal fan, you hate Yadier Molina because he's the best damn catcher that's ever played the game, and he has probably thrown your favorite baseball player out at second base 100 times. So that's why you don't like Yadier Molina. Yes, he can be a bit of an asshole, but at the same time, he's my asshole, so I might want to rethink how I said that. But you know what? He's my catcher, so go Yadier. He is the best defensively to ever play the game, and that one I don't have any problem in saying at all. So he was doing his job. He did his job right. Lovello comes out, starts using profanity, starts trying to insult him. According to Lovello, he didn't mean it in a insulting type of way. Oh, shit. See, I'm not even seeing the comments on my phone. I'm seeing them on the computer. Okay, there we go. So I got a lot of you guys on here then. All right, awesome. Anyways, yeah, so he said he didn't mean it necessarily as an insult. I don't know how you don't mean the word motherfucker as anything other than an insult. Tim McCarver during the game, he was the Cardinals color man yesterday, was saying that it's kind of a backhanded compliment, not the motherfucker part, but the part about him framing pitches, because you know what? Yes, he does. He frames pitches. Every catcher in Major League Baseball frames pitches. The best ones are the ones that can get the umpire to call ball strikes more often than not. That's what Yadier does. So, anyways, let me try to get my phone back on so I can get it charging again so it doesn't go out on me. Not that it really matters, because I'm not seeing any of the damn comments on here. Oh, there we go. Now I see Jocelyn's comment. Anyways, so, yeah. So, my guess is Major League Baseball won't do anything about it because there's really nothing to be done. Tim Timmons has gone on to say that, yes, Lovello was being rather, I don't want to say insulting, profane in reference to Yadier Molina. Lovello himself has admitted it. He was saying he didn't mean it as an insult, but he should have chosen his words better. The benches did clear. Understandably, the Diamondbacks were trying to go protect their manager. At the same time, the Cardinals were trying to back up the guy who has been the face of the franchise ever since Albert Pujols left. And was actually, before that even, was kind of like split face of the franchise. So, my guess is that, yes, Major League Baseball won't do anything about it. If they do, I'm going to be pissed because the contact was initiated by Tim Timmons. He's the one that held Yadier back. Yadier wasn't trying to push him or touch him at all. He was trying to get to Lovello, and he would have pushed and touched Lovello all he wanted to. So Tim Timmons did his job to hold Yadier back. Lovello, once he saw that Yadier was pissed off, started backing up with his hands up. That's not on Yadier at all. So everybody that, again, who's commenting that Yadier needed to be tossed out of the game as well, you guys really need to either learn to understand baseball or B, stop hating on Yadier, because those are the only people that are saying that. Yadier did nothing wrong. So tonight, though, the Cardinals will open up a series at home against Milwaukee. This is their second home series of the year. They beat the Brewers 2 out of 3 times last week in Milwaukee. Their only loss should have been a win, but the bullpen fell apart at the end, gave up back-to-back home runs in the ninth to tie and win the game. Hopefully that will be done away with, that issue, because tonight will be Greg Holland will finally be available for the Cardinals to come out as the closer. He did a lot of pitching down at the single A level to try to knock off some rust due to lack of spring training, but because they did sign him on opening day. So Holland will be there tonight, will be there ready to use. So if the Cardinals go into the ninth with a 1-2-3 run lead, you can expect to see Greg Holland. I'm actually looking forward to that. Greg Holland has been a solid closer over the past several years with both Colorado and Kansas City. That's something that the Cardinals have needed for years. Now, I'm not going to say that Greg Holland is the answer, because I don't know. I have to wait and see how Greg Holland looks this year, tonight even, and see if it's just an issue with getting a right closer in, or if it's an issue with the entire pitching staff as a whole. In bringing Greg Holland up, the Cardinals have sent, they've optioned Mike Myers down to AAA Memphis, where he will most likely be put in the rotation for the Redbirds. Yes, Memphis are the Redbirds, St. Louis are the Cardinals, even though you often hear the Cardinals being referred to as the Redbirds. So, and my guess is that he'll be one of the first guys called up should there be an injury or just any pitcher sent to the DL. Mike Myers will be one of the first ones called up, if not Jack Flaherty. So I still don't like them sending Jack Flaherty down to make room for Adam Wainwright. There's several other guys that I would have rather have sent down. If you felt you had to put Flaherty in the bullpen, I would have done that, because Flaherty is that damn good. He looked that damn good in his one start. So, but we'll see how that goes. In other baseball news, Shohei Ohtani keeps making me eat shit burgers quite a bit. Coming out of spring training, I told you guys I don't expect him to do much this year. Because Japanese players, their success very rarely translates into success at the major league level. And I stick by that. It very rarely does. The only one who's really been as successful at the major league level that he was in Japan is Ichiro. Outside of that, I can count probably on one hand players that were from Japan that were actually good. And even they weren't what they were in Japan. Yu Darvish, sorry, he's never been all that great to me. Hideki Matsui, he had a great 2009 World Series. Outside of that, really didn't do too much either. Daisuke Matsuzaka, not good. Hideo Nomo had one or two great years for the Dodgers. After that, So the list goes on. So typically when you get guys from Japan over here into the U.S., the success doesn't translate that well. Well, Shohei Ohtani had a really bad spring training. And so that's what made me think to myself that, yeah, Shohei Ohtani is still going to have a lot of issues at the major league level, just like every other Japanese ball player that comes on over here, other than Ichiro. So, yesterday, he went 7 1/3 innings against Oakland, in which he pitched perfect ball. Did not have a single base runner on by Oakland at all for 7 1/3 innings. With one out in the 7th, Marcus Semien came up and broke it up with a base hit. In total, Ohtani racked up 12 strikeouts, won the game 6-1. Got taken out after the 7th inning, and just looked phenomenal. 12 strikeouts in that game. He's now 2-0 on the year pitching. He has 3 home runs already this year, just making me look really bad. He is the first player with 2 wins and 3 home runs in his team's first 10 games of the year since grunting Jim Shaw did it for the 1919 Washington Senators. That's almost 100 years, 99 to be exact. That is pretty damn impressive. That this kid comes over from Japan and does something that nobody's done in 100 years. So, good job, Shohei. Keep making me look bad. I hope you do. I really do. I'm actually like really excited about watching him play. I mean, I always kind of was, but I just didn't expect much out of him. Let's see, make sure we're still on. Yeah, we're still on. Okay. So keep making me eat those shit burgers, Shohei. I do not mind. Well, I kind of do because those taste nasty, but you know. Anyways, so on to some other news. Michigan State is a university that I've been talking to you guys about quite a bit lately because of rape allegations, other sexual assault allegations, just all this stuff going on over there. The former university president she resigned her position after the Larry Nassar case took place, in which Larry Nassar pled guilty to more than 100 counts so far of sexual assault of student athletes and USA gymnastics athletes. Then there's been several cases where where the basketball team and the football team have had players be accused of rape as well. Another one came out today. In case you guys don't know, that's Larry Izzo. He's the head coach of the Michigan State Spartans basketball team. Tom Izzo, I'm sorry. Larry Izzo was the old linebacker for the Miami Dolphins and New England Patriots. Tom Izzo that's Tom Izzo right there. Today, another case came out where a female student is accusing 3 Michigan State basketball players of raping her back in April of 2015. Afterwards, she went to university counseling staff, and they allegedly coerced her to not report it to the authorities. So the women never reported it, but filed a lawsuit today in the U.S. District Court of the Western District of Michigan. And none of the 3 players nor the victim are named in the lawsuit. Now, I'll be the first to tell you that, and I've been saying this since I first started talking about the Larry Nassar incident. The Michigan State University needs to have their entire athletics program completely shut down. And I know someone might say, well, that's unfair to do to the women's basketball team or to the baseball team or the softball team or whatever other sport. Here's the problem with that. Without the men's football team or the men's basketball team, guess what? Those other programs don't exist. Period. Because they don't make the money to exist. So, by shutting those 2 down, you're essentially shutting down the entire athletics program. Because that's where the money comes from. Football and men's basketball. And mainly football. So, and that's for every university across the country. Sorry, the programs that bring in money are football and men's basketball. UConn women's basketball may be more than the men's, but even that's going to be very tight because UConn men's basketball has also been very good over the years. So that might be a bit closer than everybody else. But all in all, it's football and men's basketball. Now, so I've been saying that since the Larry Nassar incident had first came, well, I don't want to say first came up, but since I first started talking about it on the show, that they need to shut down the athletic program at Michigan State. Completely shut it down. Give it the death penalty, which means in 2 years it can come back. But it's going to have to start over again from scratch. Basically the same thing would happen to SMU back in 1988. very different circumstances. They were given the death penalty because of excuse me because of cheating and paying for players to go to SMU. They were given the death penalty because of that, and that was just the football program, no other programs there at the university. And very similar to what happened to Penn State because of Jerry Sandusky being found guilty of sexually assaulting young boys there at the university, and Joe Paterno apparently knowing about it, but never saying anything about it, never reporting it to police or anything like that. So they weren't given the death penalty, but they were given as close to the death penalty as you can without getting the actual death penalty. They were stripped of scholarships. They were stripped of any chance of postseason play for a couple of years. The only thing they weren't stripped of was the program itself. So they were allowed to keep the football team there, and they continued on and played the next season. Had a couple really tough years there, but in recent years they bounced back. James Franklin has been a hell of a football coach for Penn State, and so now they're one of the top ranked programs in college football. But they had to suffer through that because of that. And so I think Michigan State University, I keep wanting to say the University of Michigan, just because I hate Jim Harbaugh. So anyways, but Michigan State University, I think needs to go through that as well. In this situation, though, I don't know. This situation that was reported today just sounds fishy to me, because it seems to me that she's actually suing the university, but she's not bringing up who it was that raped her. Her name's not in the lawsuit. She is now just coming out with this 3 years after the fact. Never reported it to police. Granted, she's saying that she was coerced by university counseling staff not to, and that does kind of coincide, I guess, a little bit with the Larry Nassar stuff. But at the same time, why isn't she telling now what players it was? Why isn't she saying who she is in this lawsuit? So I'm not doubting her. I'm just saying this does sound a little fishy. This one sounds more like a money grab than anything else we've heard coming from Michigan or coming against Michigan State so far. So I personally am not a how can I put it? I've been one. I've said this tons of times that I don't believe a rape allegation just under the pretense that she says she was raped. I don't believe a victim right away over the accused until I hear the entire story. Until I hear the facts, I don't believe one way or the other. There's a lot of facts going against Michigan State right now. There's a lot of accusations being sent against Michigan State right now, where this holds a little more water than what it would if it were, say, University of Texas. Because nothing's ever come out against University of Texas like this. Baylor, yes. University of Texas, no. So I think her case holds a little more water than if she was at the University of Texas and filed the same suit. But it still right now seems a little fishy to me, just based on what I know of it. It happened in 2015. She never reported it to the police, and that she's now filing a civil lawsuit in which neither the party or none of the parties involved are being named. So I don't know. That just it sounds fishy to me, because I mean, without there actually being a actual rape charge, how are you going to say that that you were raped? You know what I mean? Hold on, give me a second. My phone is being stupid. So, anyways, Oh, my phone sucks. Anyways, okay, so on to the last bit of news. Over the weekend, Saturday to be exact, Johnny Manziel participated in his first Spring League game. In the game, he went 9 of 15 for 82 yards and 1 touchdown. The last 7 passes were a little more shaky. He actually completed his first 8 in a row, and then went 1 for 7. 1 for 7 after that. But threw for 82 yards. Had several yards rushing. I didn't even check to see what the actual stats were, but I saw one running play where he ran for 13 yards for a first down. He threw for 1 touchdown. It was a beautiful touchdown. He was on the run and threw off the side of his foot like he always, which is something you saw him do all the time at Texas A&M. Apparently, there were several NFL scouts in attendance for the game, and by all reports, several of them were very impressed with Johnny Manziel. They do know that he will have to serve a 4-game suspension if they sign him. But the thing is, there's no way he's going to come back right now as a starter. So I think it's a little more likely that a team would be willing to sign him to be a backup, serve his 4-game suspension, and if the starting quarterback goes down, bring on another backup to take the place until Manziel comes back. So I don't think it's as big a deal as what it would be if he was really trying to be a starter. And I mean, he's gonna try to be a starter, but he knows, and if he doesn't know, then he's even more out of his mind than what you guys think he is. But he pretty much knows that he's not going to be signed onto a team to be the starter. He's going to have to earn that role. So he'll be signed on to be a backup, and that's probably actually better for him. Give him another season, actually sit on the sidelines and watch what's going on. He didn't really get that much of that while he was playing with Cleveland either. So, anyways, they were very impressed with him. If no NFL team show interest in him or want to sign him, then he says he will go up and play with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the CFL. Either way, I hope to see him on a football field next either CFL season or NFL season. I hope NFL, but I think in the CFL he'll get a chance to really show what he's capable of there too. And so I don't think he'll spend a lot of time there in the Canadian League. I think the NFL teams will be more than happy to swallow him up and take him on to be like I said, at least be a backup there. So, all right, guys. If there's anybody still watching, if you guys have any comments, questions, complaints, suggestions, whatever the case may be, then feel free to go ahead and leave them in the comments here, or I'm going to put this on YouTube here as soon as I'm done recording. So feel free to message me there as well. Guys, go on to the YouTube page, like it, or subscribe to the page, like the video, comment on the video. You guys would be helping me out a great amount by doing that. And it takes all of 5 seconds, guys. It takes all of 5 seconds. I am going to repost this exact video on Facebook as soon as it downloads to YouTube. So if you guys don't know how to find my channel on YouTube, just click on the video when I put it back up. And then again, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you guys really want to watch the show all the time, click that little bell thing at the top up there, and it'll give you a ding every time a video posts. Sorry I couldn't make it WrestleMania. Have you talked about it yet? Yes, I did. I talked about it briefly, James. I'm thinking about possibly doing another show where I talk about wrestling exclusively. This one I just briefly touched on all the happenings of the wrestling weekend. But anyways, yeah. Again, do me a great favor, guys, and subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comment on the videos if you have any questions or anything like that. Let me know. You know what? Comment on the video on YouTube, not on this one. comment on the video if you guys want me to do a wrestling show as well. I mean, I'm still do this one, but do a show that's all just wrestling on the side there. So, all right, guys. Yep. If there's nothing else, then you guys have a great day. Have a great Monday. Raw's going to be on here in about 30 minutes. I'm going to be watching Raw. And what else did I have to tell you guys? Don't forget, go over to bandcamp.com. Check out A Bloody Chasm. My homegirl. How did your girlfriend Ronda Rousey do? You mean my wife? Her and Kurt Angle won. Anyways, yeah, go to bandcamp.com. Check out my friend Jocelyn and and Matt. They are in the band The Bloody Chasm. Great fucking rock and roll band, guys. You guys will love them. Check them up. Check them out. Download their music. They will not eat your faces if you download their music. That's the only guarantee that they have. Because if you don't download the music, then your face might get eaten. And really, are you willing to risk that? They're a great band, guys. Check them out. Bandcamp.com. It's easy as hell to download the music there. So, all right. If there is nothing else, guys, then I hope you guys have a great Monday night. Get ready for Raw. And as always, I keep saying this because, it's just so much fun to say, especially because I'm not very good at Spanish. But as always, besos.